Dear Radiant Leo, the biggest win of your life is unfolding in mid-August, and it's going to shake the very foundation of how your family sees you. You didn't find this video by accident. You were brought here by a divine thread, gently tugging at your soul, because the time has come for your story to shift. Not just in whispers, but in undeniable, visible ways. You are on the edge of a breakthrough that will not only reward your strength, it will reveal it. You've walked through fire. You've stayed silent in storms. You've said yes to growth when no one was watching. And now, as the sun, your ruling planet, burns brightest in the sky, the light is no longer something you seek. It's what you've become. In mid-August, a long-awaited victory will rise into your life like golden light breaking through morning fog. And when it does, it won't just bless you, it will shock those who once misunderstood your silence. The very people who called you unrealistic, too emotional, or too proud will witness something they never expected, the version of you that was quietly building strength behind the scenes. This isn't about proving anyone wrong. It's about finally standing in what's been rightfully yours all along. Perhaps you've been sensing this shift through dreams, divine nudges, or a quiet restlessness that refuses to be ignored. That's not your imagination. That's preparation. Divine alignment has already been in motion, organizing events, hearts, and timing for this moment. And you, Leo, are at the center of that alignment. You are not here to chase approval anymore. You are here to embody presence. Whether the breakthrough shows up as a financial door, a career shift, a relationship renewal, or even a spiritual rebirth, know this: it will reflect everything you've held onto with fierce loyalty, quiet integrity, and stubborn hope. This is the moment where heaven meets earth through your decision to keep going. And if you're feeling this message strike something deep in you, it's because it's already happening. Your energy called this in. This is your confirmation. I want to take a moment to thank you deeply for being here. Every like, every comment, every share, every subscription, it's more than support. It's sacred energy. And it helps carry messages like this into the lives of those who need it most. Please, don't keep your voice silent. If this message has reached you at just the right time, leave a comment below to confirm that you're aligned with this energy. Let us know what shift you feel moving in your life right now. Because this space isn't just about prediction. It's about participation. When you speak your truth, you accelerate your own awakening. And trust me, you'll want to stay with me until the very end of today's message. What the universe is about to reveal for you is extraordinary. It's timely. It's sacred. And it has the power to redirect everything. So let me ask you, Leo. What inside of you guided you here today? What silent prayer, what quiet wish, what persistent feeling has led you to this moment? Because you are not just here to listen. You are here to remember. Now, let's begin. Your journey, Leo, hasn't been one of loud announcements or constant validation. It's been a quiet, relentless choosing of light in the midst of uncertainty. Each step you've taken was not just about moving forward, but about standing still when it mattered, anchoring your spirit in truth even when no one applauded. And that, in its rawest, purest form, is the essence of spiritual strength. Not the strength that roars for attention, but the kind that holds steady in silence, rooted in conviction, not circumstance. You may have felt misunderstood at times. Misread. Called too intense, too sensitive, too much. You may have chosen restraint when you could have reacted, walked away when staying would have been easier, or continued loving when resentment seemed more justifiable. But through it all, something inside of you refused to compromise your core. That something, your inner flame, is what has guided you to this moment. And now, like the first beam of light breaking through the surface after a long winter, that flame is rising to be seen. Astrologically, the sun, your ruling planet, is not just a symbol of your energy, Leo. It is your essence. It is the center of our solar system, the source of life, warmth, and illumination. And just like the sun, you were not made to dim or to ask for permission. You were made to shine, not for ego, but for purpose. And when the sun is strong in the sky as it is now, in your season it awakens a divine permission in you to step forward unapologetically, radiating your truth without shrinking. The Strength card in tarot appears here not to remind you that you must be forceful, but that you already are powerful. The woman on the card gently taming the lion represents a balance between compassion and courage, patience and raw force. This isn't a message about control. It's a sacred recognition of how far you've come through grace, not aggression. You didn't force the seasons to turn in your favor. You aligned. You trusted. You endured. And that kind of endurance is holy. Let me take you deeper. Imagine yourself as a seed buried in darkness. No one saw the nights you whispered prayers through exhaustion. No one heard the thoughts you battled when the world around you seemed too loud or too empty. But even in that soil, you stayed faithful to the process. You held the belief that growth was happening even when no roots had yet reached the surface. This is why your harvest will feel sacred, because it wasn't rushed. It was nurtured. In the rhythms of energy, growth always begins underground. In the same way our emotional healing often begins in solitude, far from social media, far from approval, far from performance, so too does the soul stretch when it's buried beneath uncertainty. That darkness wasn't punishment. It was preparation. It gave you the spiritual depth you now carry, the maturity to respond, the discernment to choose what is aligned, the integrity to walk away when something dishonors your worth. In a world that often mistakes visibility for value, Leo, you chose to value yourself even when no one else could see the outcome. That's not just noble. It's transformational. And it echoes something sacred, the idea that the quiet choices we make when no one's watching often shape the most defining moments of our lives. Just as faith doesn't always come with signs and miracles, but often through silent obedience, so too does your growth show itself now, not in dramatic explosions, but in subtle radiance. So if you feel the shift, if you feel like your inner world has been recalibrating, like something bigger than logic is beginning to unfold, trust that. Trust that the moment of emergence is near, and that your quiet victories have made you unshakable. The light you've carried in the dark is about to become undeniable. Not to prove anything, but to reflect everything that has always been true about you. And now, finally, the world will see it too. There comes a moment in every soul's evolution when what was once invisible suddenly becomes undeniable, and for you, Leo, that moment is arriving in the form of an unexpected door. The universe, in its intricate and precise intelligence, never delivers too soon or too late. What's coming to you now, whether it appears as a financial opportunity, a professional breakthrough, a powerful connection, or a chance meeting with someone who holds keys you never knew you needed, arriving exactly when you are most prepared to receive it with discernment and clarity. Energetically, this is not a moment of random fortune. It's the manifestation of seeds sown quietly over time. You have been aligning your values, refining your vision, and making choices that may have seemed small in the moment but were actually sacred investments. Now, those choices are creating the foundation for something that is not only profitable, but meaningful. In the language of the tarot, the Ace of Pentacles is not just about money. It's about new potential, tangible, grounded, and brimming with promise. This card reminds us that abundance is not just something we wish for, it's something we prepare for. This opportunity you're about to receive isn't the reward, it's the beginning of a chapter that calls for responsibility, vision, and structure. It's the seed of your own empire. And like any seed, what you do with it matters more than the seed itself. From a numerological lens, we look to the power of 8 and 11 to support this part of your journey. 8 is the number of financial mastery, personal power, and legacy building. It governs cycles, karma, and influence, urging you to step into your authority without guilt or hesitation. 11, a master number, brings heightened intuition and inner knowing. Together, they ask you not only to trust the opportunity, but to trust yourself to handle it wisely. This is where the law of attraction shifts from vision boarding to conscious stewardship. What's coming toward you may look simple on the surface, a conversation, a message, a yes from someone in a position of power, but under that surface is an energetic current that's been gaining momentum for years. That current doesn't just bring prosperity. It brings purpose. And the more intentional you are with how you direct it, the more profound your transformation will be. This is why restraint and foresight are essential now. When the blessing arrives, there may be a temptation to celebrate through instant gratification, spending quickly, sharing too soon, or expanding too fast. But just as the most powerful trees grow slowly, your abundance will flourish when it is nurtured with patience and structure. Don't treat this as a windfall. Treat it as sacred capital. Every dollar, every offer, every relationship linked to this opportunity is a seed. Ask yourself, is this rooted in the future I'm building, or is it just echoing the patterns I've outgrown? Your financial evolution isn't just about wealth. It's about sovereignty. It's about proving to yourself that you are capable not only of receiving abundance but of sustaining it. It's about using what you've gained to support your health, expand your capacity, invest in your learning, and serve others without depletion. When you begin to treat your resources as extensions of your energy, you naturally begin to make decisions that mirror your worth. So this is your moment to step into intelligent abundance. Not just riches but richness. Not just profit but purpose. You are being invited to lead with both instinct and intention. And the world, watching quietly, will soon see what happens when a Leo no longer waits to be chosen but instead becomes the chooser. What you do with this door will shape not just your financial chapter but your legacy. Let it be aligned, let it be intentional, and most of all let it be yours. There is a rare kind of transformation that doesn't announce itself with a grand speech or seek validation through applause. It simply arrives quiet, undeniable, and glowing from within. And Leo, this is where you are now. You are not changing to impress anyone. You are returning to your most aligned, authentic self. And that return is more radiant than any mask you could have ever worn. Those around you, especially your family, may not understand the quiet battles you've fought or the subtle ways you've evolved. But they're about to see something they can't ignore, not a reinvention, but a revelation. In the landscape of human psychology, it's not uncommon for those closest to us to need proof before they believe. Family, often built on familiarity, can find it hard to accept our evolution unless it becomes visible, palpable. And that's not because they doubt your worth, but because they've only ever known the version of you that was growing silently beneath the surface. What they will witness now isn't a shockwave of rebellion or an act of defiance. It is the soft, steady emergence of your truth. And that truth, unshakable, rooted, unbothered, more powerful than any declaration. This is the beauty of inner work. It doesn't scream. It glows. The kind of glow that comes from integrity, from knowing who you are without needing others to validate it. You are no longer trying to be seen. You are simply becoming too radiant to overlook. That is not ego. That is essence. You are no longer trying to chase alignment. You are the alignment. And the people around you, even those who once misunderstood your silence, will feel the difference. In astrology, Leo energy is often misunderstood as seeking the spotlight. But the highest octave of Leo is not performative, it is sovereign. The evolved Leo doesn't need a stage. They are the presence that fills the room. This is not about being loud. It's about being luminous. And luminosity comes not from trying to be noticed, but from owning your path, honoring your values, and walking forward with quiet certainty. This is when respect shifts from something you ask for to something that arrives uninvited, because your frequency has changed. This moment is not about convincing your family of anything. You don't need to explain yourself, justify your journey, or recount the pain it took to get here. Your energy will speak. Your results will echo. And the light in your eyes, clear, peaceful, and unafraid, will say everything they need to hear. Some may remain quiet. Some may be surprised. Some may apologize in subtle ways. But what matters most is that you know, you didn't do this to prove anything. You did it to be free. According to the law of attraction, when you no longer seek recognition outside of yourself, you become a magnet for it. Because energy doesn't lie. And you are now aligned with a vibration that commands respect not through force, but through presence. The kind of presence that makes people lean in and say, "What changed?" And the truth is, nothing changed. You simply stopped dimming the light you were always meant to shine. There's a quiet revolution that happens when you no longer betray yourself for the sake of harmony. When you stop explaining your boundaries and start living them. When you stop asking for permission to be who you are. Leo, this is your revolution. Not one that burns down bridges, but one that builds new ones, rooted in honesty, mutual respect, and divine timing. So when your family looks at you and sees someone they don't quite recognize, let that be okay. Let it be a testament to the growth they never got to witness, but now get to receive. Not everyone will understand right away. But energy always lands where it's meant to. And your energy, now that it's fully yours, is making its way back to the people who once knew you as someone smaller. They're about to meet the real you. And this time, you won't shrink to fit. You'll simply shine. When we speak about love in this chapter of your life, Leo, We are not talking about the kind that burns quickly and fades just as fast. We are speaking of something deeper, quieter, and far more enduring. Love, at this level, is no longer a place you chase for validation or a space you enter to prove your worth. It becomes a mirror, a living reflection of how well you've come to understand, forgive, and embrace yourself. If you are already walking alongside someone in love, you may feel the subtle shift happening beneath the surface. It is no longer enough to just exist side by side. There is a deeper yearning now to co-create. To build not just memories, but meaning. This is where soul partnership reveals itself, not through constant harmony, but through the willingness to share dreams, to revisit old wounds with courage, and to hold each other accountable for growth. This kind of connection does not ask for perfection, it asks for presence. For vulnerability. For showing up with your full self, even when it's messy or uncertain. And that, Leo, is your strength. Not just the fire in your heart, but the courage to keep it open even after it's been hurt. For those walking solo at this time, your energy is becoming unmistakably magnetic, but not in the way you might expect. You're not attracting love because you're trying harder. You're attracting it because you're no longer trying at all. You've stopped shrinking to fit into someone else's narrative. You've stopped editing your truth to be more palatable. Instead, you've allowed your full self to rise to the surface, and that authenticity, it resonates far and wide. A connection may arrive soon, and it won't come with fireworks or loud declarations. It may begin with a soft exchange, an unexpected familiarity, a sense of being deeply seen without having to explain who you are. And that, in its essence, is the soul recognizing itself. In the archetypes of tarot, both the Lovers and the Star remind us that real love is born from alignment, not effort. The Lover's card is not just about romance, it's about choice. Choosing someone not because they fill a void, but because they enhance your journey. And the Star, it brings healing. It invites you to return to your heart, to trust again, and to open yourself to the gentle miracle of being met with peace, not drama. These cards remind us that the healthiest relationships grow not from constant striving, but from mutual safety and mutual becoming. This is a time, Leo, to check in with yourself. To listen. To write. To ask what kind of love your spirit is truly ready to receive. Emotional journaling, especially in the quiet hours of the morning, can reveal what words may not. Because before love can arrive with another, it must be deeply seated within you. Not as pride, but as gentleness. Not as a performance, but as truth. You are no longer required to perform to be loved. The right person won't need you to dim your light, lower your voice, or question your worth. They will feel safe in your presence because you have learned how to feel safe within your own. And that is the frequency of true connection, not a rescue, but a resonance. You are not looking for someone to complete you. You are simply ready to meet someone who is also whole, also healing, also walking home to themselves. Whether love finds you in partnership or solitude this season, trust the process. What's meant for you will never bypass your soul, it will wait for your readiness, not your perfection. And when it arrives, it will feel like something you've already known. Because in truth, you've been preparing for it all along. There is a power that comes from within that doesn't need to be announced. It doesn't need to be proven. It doesn't even need to be explained. It simply is. And Leo, you are standing in that power now, not as someone striving to be more, but as someone who has finally remembered who they are. You've reached the part of your journey where inner authority begins to outshine external noise. Not because you're louder, but because you're clearer. Clear in your values. Clear in your vision. And clear in the way your energy settles a room, just by being. True leadership, that kind that transforms lives, rarely shows up with a megaphone. It arrives gently. Through your consistency. Through the way you carry yourself, through the calm you protect, and through the decisions you make when no one else is watching. You've likely come to realize that you don't have to be anyone's guru to be someone's inspiration. In fact, your daily rituals of self-respect, your nourishment, your rest, your boundaries are the message. Without needing to post it. Without needing to say a word. This is the embodiment of spiritual maturity. Not the highs of constant revelation, but the quiet art of discipline. You've learned that stability is not restrictive, it's sacred. That taking care of your body is not vanity, it's reverence. That managing your time, emotions, and energy isn't control, it's freedom. And that inner peace is not passive, it's a choice you recommit to every single day. Your body is the temple where your purpose lives. And what you feed it, how you move it, and how you listen to it reflects how deeply you believe in your mission. You already know this, so let this be your reminder. Begin the day with intention. A cup of warm lemon water not only alkalizes your system but grounds your spirit. A few minutes of stillness before the world begins to speak can create an anchor that keeps you from being pulled by the chaos. A short walk under the morning sun reawakens your connection to life. Even writing your goals, no matter how small, creates a neural imprint of accountability that compounds over time. These are not just habits. They are sacred agreements with yourself. The colors you wear or surround yourself with can also tune your vibration to match the frequency you are calling in. Gold, a color of solar energy and dignity, reminds you that you are worthy of success not because of what you do, but because of who you are. It helps ignite the flame of self-respect and focus. Royal purple, on the other hand, whispers to the crown of your soul. It soothes doubt, invites insight, and holds space for your inner wisdom to guide, not react. These aren't just aesthetics. They're energetic tools, quiet companions that amplify your field without demanding attention. From the lens of the law of attraction, the more at peace you are within, the more magnetic you become without effort. It's not about forcing anything to happen. It's about being so rooted in your alignment that the right people, the right opportunities, the right timing naturally flow to you. You're not shouting for recognition anymore. You become a steady flame in a world of flickering lights. And that steadiness is what draws others in, not because you told them who you are, but because your energy reminds them of who they could be. So you see, you are not just walking your path, Leo. You are illuminating it. And in doing so, you are quietly lighting the way for others who are still finding theirs. Without needing applause. Without needing to convince. Your self-trust is the miracle. Your presence is the teaching. And your life lived with reverence, with clarity, carries the most powerful message of all. The door you've been sensing, the one that has appeared again and again in the form of quiet signs, inner knowing, and subtle invitations, yes, that door is about to open. And while the universe may place it in front of you, only you can choose to step through. No one else can decide what this moment will mean for you. This is your path, your permission, your unfolding. Everything we've explored together, the silent strength, the divine opportunity, the shift in how others see you, the depth of love and sovereignty you've reclaimed at it, has all led to this. The question now is, what version of yourself will you allow to rise and walk forward? Will you choose the self that still waits for certainty, or the one that trusts in divine timing? Will you meet this breakthrough as a final destination, or will you honor it as the beginning of something even more expansive? Because the truth is, this victory, this mid-August transformation, is not here to complete you. It's here to remind you of what you're capable of when you stop negotiating with your potential. So take a breath and ask yourself gently, honestly, what are you ready to receive? What are you finally willing to believe about your worth, your power, your place in this world? Are you ready to live a life where success doesn't feel like a fluke, but like a reflection of your inner alignment? Are you ready to allow peace and abundance to coexist in your daily experience? And if so, what is one step you can take this week, no matter how small, that honors that readiness? Maybe it's setting a boundary. Maybe it's applying for the opportunity you've been afraid of. Maybe it's simply allowing yourself to rest, because you finally trust that your worth isn't tied to your productivity. Whatever it is, name it. Claim it. And don't keep it to yourself. Please take a moment to share in the comments below the moment you realized you were ready. What is it that you are preparing to receive? What shift are you stepping into with gratitude in your heart and clarity in your soul? Speaking it aloud helps bring it into form, and your words might be the light someone else needs to see their own path more clearly. I want to thank you deeply for spending this time with me. Your presence here is not just appreciated, it's honored. Every like, every comment, every subscription to this channel sends a ripple of energy that helps grow this circle of healing and truth. You are helping eternal mindfulness carry messages of light to those who are silently searching for them. And for that, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. If this message resonated with you, please don't forget to subscribe to Eternal Mindfulness. New insights, spiritual guidance, and gentle reminders of your power are shared often, and I would love to continue walking this path with you. Until then, remember, the key has always been in your hands. All that's left is the courage to turn it.